Welcome to Shul Machshav on the Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Samich Vov. The Gemara in the top of Amud Aleph wants to say that when the pasuk says Lo Yavdil, it doesn't mean there is an Isser prohibition to be Mavdil. It doesn't have to be Mavdil. So it says the Gemara, so when it says Legabi Bor, Lo Yichasenu, does it mean that he doesn't have to cover the Bor? So Torah says, so if so, every time there's a lav in the Torah, does the Gemara have a hava mean to say that it doesn't mean that it's a real lav, it only means you don't have to? Says Torah says no. Anything that I know on my own, if the Torah says not to do it, I would think it means you don't have to do it. But if I don't know it on my own, of course, if the Torah says not to do it, it means not to do it. Based on this Yesod of Tosfos, there's a beautiful word that's brought down the Sefer L'Hoyres Noson. In the Torah it says that when Moshe Rabbeinu was traveling, going back to Mitzrayim, he didn't do the bris milah to his son, and therefore he was punished. So Rashi explains that why did Moshe Rabbeinu not do the bris milah? Because he had a cheshbon. He knew he's traveling, and it may cause a sakana, it may cause a danger to the baby. So that's why he didn't do the bris milah. So says Rabbi Yoel Mizrachi, the Rehem, how could Moshe Rabbeinu avoid doing a bris milah because of sakana? The idea of sakana we learned in the Torah of v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em. Torah wasn't given yet, but bris milah was given to Avraham v'Zari. So Moshe Rabbeinu has a mitzvah to do a bris milah, and he's not going to do the bris milah because of sakana. Who says sakana is a reason of Torah if Torah wasn't given yet? So Maharal in the Guraya says no. V'chai b'em is not another mitzvah that was still not given to Am Yisrael. V'chai b'em tells you that the mitzvah is not need to be done. Any mitzvah doesn't have to be done b'mokam sakana. So it doesn't matter if the Torah was given or not given. The Torah just tells you that no mitzvah in the world needs to be done b'mokam sakana. That includes also mitzvahs that came before Matan Torah. Hi, maybe you'll ask, how did Moshe Rabbeinu know that? He said it's a svara. It's something you can know based on logic. The Torah just told you this idea that someone can the life of a person comes before a mitzvah. The Torah quoted v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em. But really, I know it on my own. So even before Matan Torah, we knew it. So says the Hoyros Nasan, with this we can understand the machlekes of the Rambam and the Tosfos. Because the Gemara tells us that all mitzvahs Shabbat Torah, the din is, if a person has to choose between death or doing the mitzvah, the din is Yavar Val Yaharig, except the three cardinal sins. That's Yarig Val Yavar. The other it says, Yavar Val Yaharig. But there's a machlekes Tosfos in the Rambam. What happens if a person chooses to do the mitzvah and to sacrifice his life? Does a person have a right to say, I know that I don't have to do the mitzvah because it's Yavar Val Yaharig, but I choose still to do the mitzvah. Can you choose to do that or not? So Tosfos over the Zohar Daf Chozayin Mud Beis says, Im rotzo lehachmer al atzmo yafilu b'shar mitzvos rashay. Person has the choice either to live or to transgress a mitzvah. He can choose to die, even though he doesn't have to. But the Rambam, Perek Michos Yesod HaTorah, says, Kol mishnei amar bo yavar v'al yahorig v'nerag v'lo yavar. A person did kill himself. Harizim ischayv b'nafsho. It's a terrible aveira. He's not supposed to do the mitzvah. So says the Hoyros Nason, what's the machlokes of the Tosfos and the Rambam? It says they're arguing in the machlokes of Rabbi Yoel Mizrachi and the Maharal. Do I know misvara, this concept of v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em? Rabbi Yoel Mizrachi says, misvara, I don't know that a person could do an aveiro and not to die. He needs a pasuk for it. Before the Torah was given, and a person did have to go and kill himself to do a mitzvah. So mainly when the Torah says v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em, it's not optional. The Torah says to do something, that's what I have to do. That's the sheet of the Rambam. But Tosfos learns like the Maharal. Tosfos learns like the Guraya, that I know misvara v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em. I really know it even before the Torah was given. I know misvara. So if the Torah says v'chai b'em after I know misvara, we use the Tosfos in our sugya. Tosfos in our sugya says anything I know misvara, the Torah says to do, so I say it's optional. I say that doesn't mean that you have to do it. So when the Torah says v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em, it's optional. So in Meila, Tosfos l'shitosei is very gishmak. Tosfos here in Zevachim taught us that anything that I know misvara, anything I know on my own, is when the Torah says not to do it, it's optional. And Tosfos holds like the Maharal that v'chai b'em v'lo shiyamas b'em It's something I know Misvara even before the Torah was given. That's why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't do Bris Milah on his son. So if I know in Misvara, when the Torah says it's an optional. If it's optional, that's why if a person decides to kill himself and not to do the Aveira, it's something he's allowed to do. Because anything that I know Misvara, if the Torah says not to do it, it's only optional and a person is not obligated to do it. A very gishmak cheshbon based on Tosfos in our sugya. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor the Shor Machshava Shurim, please email shormachshava@gmail.com.